Whenever you hold your smartphone, or get in your car, or even just grab a snack, have you ever really thought about the incredible journey it took to get to you? It's not just a product, it's the end result of this massive, global dance of strategy, logistics, and technology. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on exactly that, the world of modern industrial management, and see how all these pieces fit together.
So here's the plan. We're going to start really big with the entire global supply chain. Then we'll zoom in a bit to the philosophies that make it all run smoothly. After that, we'll look at the software that kind of access the company's brain. And finally, we'll land right on a project manager's desktop to see the actual tools they use day to day. All right, first up, the big one, the absolute foundation of how we get pretty much everything these days, the global supply chain. This is that huge, often invisible network that connects literally everything and everyone. I mean, it really does feel like magic sometimes, doesn't it? You click a button online, and a few days later, a box just shows up at your door. But it's not magic, not at all. It's actually the result of an incredibly well-managed, complex process. So, how does it actually work? Well, the secret sauce is something called supply chain management, or SCM for short. And the most important thing to get from this definition is just how wide-ranging it is. SCM isn't just about shipping stuff. Nope. It is the active management of the entire process, from the very first spark of an idea for a product to finding the raw materials, making the thing, and then all the logistics to get it to you. The whole point is to make that entire chain as lean and efficient as possible. And here is a perfect classic example of SCM in action. Think about this. Years ago, companies basically worked in the dark. But then Walmart and Procter & Gamble had this game-changing idea. Walmart started sharing its sales data in real time, directly with P&G. Suddenly, P&G knew the instant a bottle of their detergent was sold anywhere in the country. This meant they could automatically ship new stock right when it was needed. No more guessing, no more warehouses full of stuff nobody was buying. It was this seamless flow that saved everybody a ton of money. Now, tucked inside this giant idea of SCM is logistics. You can think of it like this. If SCM is the overall game plan, the strategy, logistics is the team on the field actually executing the plays. It's the trucks, the ships, the planes, the warehouses. It's all the physical movement that makes the strategy a reality. Okay, so we've got this massive global network. The next logical question is, how do you make it not just work, but work with incredible efficiency? Well, that leads us to a really powerful philosophy. And that philosophy is called just-in-time, or JIT. It was pioneered by Toyota, and the core idea sounds almost too simple. It's this: don't make anything until a customer has actually ordered it. This was revolutionary because it directly attacked the single biggest source of waste in any factory: piles of unsold inventory just sitting there, costing money. But here's the thing. JIT is so much more than just an inventory strategy. It's a whole new way of thinking. It creates what's called a pull system. Instead of the company pushing products out and hoping they sell, customer demand actually pulls the product through the production line. And by getting rid of all that extra inventory, that safety net, it immediately exposes any problems in your process. To make it work, you need absolute top-notch quality control and, crucially, a really stable and predictable supply chain. And like any really powerful idea, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the benefits are huge. You basically eliminate storage costs and waste. But on the other hand, wow, the risks are just as big. There is absolutely zero room for error. If even one supplier has a delay, your entire factory can grind to a halt. We've all seen this happen with global disruptions recently. It's a real high-wire act. But when it works, it is a thing of beauty. Toyota builds cars to a customer's specific order. Apple can launch a new iPhone globally with incredibly little excess stock. And yep, even McDonald's uses JIT principles. They don't make your burger until after you've ordered it, ensuring it's fresh. It's all about delivering value at the exact moment it's needed. So you've got this global supply chain, these just-in-time deliveries. All of this creates an absolutely mind-boggling amount of data. How on earth does a company manage all that information without it all turning into complete chaos? Well, they use a kind of digital brain. Just picture a typical old-school company for a second. The finance department has their own spreadsheets, the sales team has their own database, the warehouse has its own inventory system, and guess what? None of them talk to each other. This creates these walls, or silos, between departments, and that's a recipe for mistakes, miscommunication, and just massive inefficiency.
The answer to that problem is Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP. You can really think of an ERP system as the central nervous system for a whole company. It's one giant integrated piece of software designed to tear down those walls and bring every critical part of the business, finance, HR, manufacturing, you name it, into one single unified system.
So how does it actually do that? Well, an ERP creates what people in the business call a single source of truth. Because everyone in every department is using the exact same database, the information is consistent everywhere. So when a salesperson enters a new order, it can automatically check the customer's credit in the finance module, check the inventory in the warehouse module, and update the factory's production schedule, all of it instantly and automatically.
And the payoff for doing this is huge. All that automation and integration leads to major cost savings. Managers and executives get a complete, up-to-the-minute picture of the entire business, which means they can make way smarter decisions. And, of course, by getting everyone on the same page, it just makes collaboration across the company so much better. Okay, so we've gone from this massive global view down to the company's digital brain. Now let's zoom in one last time, right down to the desktop of an individual manager, and look at a specific tool they would use to actually get projects done inside these big systems. And let's talk about a classic, Microsoft Project. This software has been around forever, and it's built for one thing: helping project managers plan out every detail of a project, assign tasks, manage their resources, and track progress. It's really the tool that takes the big picture strategy from the ERP and turns it into a concrete, day-by-day plan of action.
So a manager using MS Project has this whole toolkit at their disposal. They can work from a simple to-do list or use a more visual Kanban board to see tasks move through stages. Or they can use the classic timeline view, which you might know as a Gantt chart, to see how all the different tasks and dependencies are scheduled over time. Plus, it's loaded with features for managing resources like people and money, and for generating all kinds of reports for the higher-ups. But like everything, it's got its pluses and minuses. Its biggest pro is probably that it's a Microsoft product, so it plays nicely with things like Office 365. On the flip side, though, it can be really complicated to learn. It's also pretty expensive, since you have to buy a license for every single person who uses it. And its special file format can make it a real pain to share project plans with anyone who doesn't also have the software.
Phew. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, right? From these planet-spanning supply chains all the way down to one piece of software on one person's computer. So what's the big idea here? What's the one thread that ties all of this together?
At the end of the day, it all boils down to one word: integration. Every single thing we've talked about, SCM, JIT, ERP, Microsoft Project, they're all about connecting different pieces of a puzzle so they work together as one seamless whole. And the goal is always the same: cut out waste, make communication better, and deliver more value to the customer faster than ever before.
And this quote just nails that shift in thinking perfectly. It used to be that businesses only worried about what was happening inside their own four walls. But now, the winning companies understand that they have to manage that entire end-to-end chain. Real efficiency isn't found in just one department. It's found in the connections between all of them. And that brings us to one last thing to think about. As these systems get even smarter, as AI and automation start handling more and more of this, what happens to the job of the human manager? If the machines are managing the data and the logistics with perfect efficiency, what becomes the new, most important role for the person in charge? That's the big question as we head into the next chapter of all this.